If for some reason you've been sleeping under a rock, Nintendo recently announced Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, the originally console-exclusive Wii U game, and of course, it set the internet on fire, all things about Wii U. I mean, some of your Wii U's might be on fire internally, literally! It raised questions of how many games of the Wii U are still going to be exclusive, and the age-old question of, did Nintendo betray Wii U owners? Well, today we're going to be going over all Wii U games that are still exclusive to the Wii U, and whether or not we're going to be seeing them on the Switch, or even future consoles from Nintendo for that matter. Let's start with the big one. Everyone keeps talking about this though, and this isn't really a Wii U title exclusively, just that their versions are exclusive on the Wii U. The Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker HD, and Twilight Princess HD, both heavily coveted Wii U titles for the Switch. Why do people want these versions so bad? Well, they added some neat quality of life updates, and not to mention who the heck owned a Wii U. Well, a lot more people than you might think. Now, of course, these games were on GameCube, and with Twilight Princess also being on Wii, so this will be the third time this game got re-released. A lot of people have been saying we were going to see these games in a double pack, or even a 3D Zelda double pack. However, Nintendo is Nintendo, and they aren't going to do something that you want. What I do see them doing is releasing a GameCube Online, with all new facts out there pointing that this is going to be the case. I see it highly unlikely we're going to be seeing these games ported from the Wii U to any console of Nintendo for that matter anytime soon, but it certainly could be possible in the very late near future. Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard. Now these games are interesting because they focus heavily on gamepad support, and they almost are like a Wii U based game in general. But do they really need the gamepad to function? No, they don't. In fact, they make them worse. Could we see the Zero coming back to Switch? Yeah, I think we could, just that I could see things being a bit more complicated since Nintendo needs to put more effort into taking gamepad support out of this game, and also the fact that there's another company that worked with them, Platinum Games. Now, Star Fox Guard, that was more just a tech demo, which eventually got turned into a Star Fox game. The very first spin-off one for that matter. And it's certainly entirely possible we could get it. Heck, I bet it would even be before Star Fox Zero would be seeing this game on the Switch. Now, are we going to see that eggnog-stained console box? No, that isn't going to happen. Nintendo Land, everyone's favorite thing to do on the Wii U. Heck, I would say the Wii U was beating the Switch for nearly a good year just due to the fact that this game made its launch fantastic. The Switch was very barren and just copied a lot off the Wii U during its first half a year, and that's completely lame. Nintendo Land is awesome. I'd even say it's one of my favorite games of all time. So much charm packed into this, and it made me dream of having Nintendo theme park before Super Nintendo Land became a thing. Man, I hope we get Nintendo Land section in the future. This game was meant to showcase everything that was special about the Wii U, be it gyro sensors, that odd 5-player setup off TV play. I remember in school bragging about how the Wii U was going to be the next big futuristic gameplay, and nobody gave a shit. Well, that certainly alluded to its poor selling in the future. I don't see this game ever coming off of Wii U. It relies heavily on gamepad support with its gameplay, and the Switch just ain't built for it. Now, it could be entirely possible to see us hooking up another Switch Act as a gamepad, but this is an early 2000 Nintendo. This is boring, bland 2025 Nintendo, who isn't taking a risk. They want to maximize their profits as much as possible. They can make Super Mario Movie number 10 and Pikachu cereal. So I would say that Nintendo Land will never be released from its Wii U shackles. Point 1 for Wii U owners. With that being said, Game & Wario! Basically, you could say Nintendo Land's sequel. It relies a lot on gamepad support as well, however it doesn't hold torch to Nintendo Land. But due to its heavy reliance gamepad support, I can see it being in the same boat as Nintendo Land, so yet another point for Wii U owners. Alright, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Was anybody asking for a poorly drawn sequel of a DS game? No, no one was, but that's what Nintendo does! They give you things you don't want! It's a nice surprise, but well, I'd say this game is just kinda mid and it is neat how you got the classic 5-player Wii U shenanigans going on. I mean, what other game could do that besides the turbo graphics? Would have been a neat fit in the set. Oh wait! Now, this game relies heavily once again on gamepad support. However, this game is much more possible to play since it's mainly touchscreen support. You can play the game in handheld mode, and there's just a game that already exists on the Switch like that, Pokemon Cafe Mix, which can only be played in handheld mode. Now, I don't think this is the greatest move, probably why Nintendo hasn't made more games like this on the system, but I could see them adding a sort of pointer mode feature to what they did somewhere in Skyward Sword HD just to fix it. It's possible. However, yeah, that would be great, and then again, Nintendo released the e-reader, so who's to say it isn't possible. I do think Kirby and the Rainbow Curse could be released on Switch, and is much more likely Nintendo Land, but would Nintendo really put all their effort into doing that? Alright, Mario Party 10! Honestly, not sure why I'm even covering this game because, like all Mario Party games, they stay exclusive to their systems. Minus Virtual Console re-releases and whatever the heck Superstars is supposed to be. And not to mention, this game relies heavily on gamepad support. Now, this game does suck. I'm sorry to all two people who I offended that like this game. It's just, would you really say this is a game to say, hey, I own a Wii U? Nintendo Sports Club, the forgotten sequel to Wii Sports. Yeah, I had a friend of Wii U who was all super hyped about this game. I was just like, why don't I need another Wii Sports? The original game was fine. And yeah, sales numbers agrees with me. We already have Nintendo Switch Sports, not to mention Sports Club does use a unique feature of the Wii U, so yeah, this game isn't coming over anytime soon. Paper Mario Color Splash, that one game that people seem to agree is just okay and not the worst in the world. But when you come across a TTYD fan, they'd be like, now this game does use Wii U features, but it's more so just shoehorning to say, hey look, we didn't forget that feature existed. So it's entirely possible we could see this game on Wii U. Now its sales number and fan base? Alright, some eShop games. These would be especially nice to have on Switch considering they're digital only and have been taken offline forever! Pokemon Rumble U. Sure, its name would probably detach people forever, but we got New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, so who's to say we can't get this? This game does have a Wii U feature, but just some silly power-up mode. Honestly, could just make it a button prompt on screen or something and just remove the mode altogether even. Now, what is neat is the fact this game has its own amiibo. The first amiibo. And hey, the Switch has amiibo support. This would be perfect to add to the game. Dr. Luigi. Basically, every Dr. Mario game has felt the same for ages since the DSi title, and I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen a new Dr. Mario title in quite some time. Well, considering Nintendo likes to make their own, and we already have a bunch of Dr. Mario titles in the retro online services, serious Nintendo, just call them that, online's the dumbest name, we probably won't be seeing this title, so yeah, yet another point for Wii U owners. Ultimate NES Remix. Now, we did get Nintendo World Championships recently, however, this isn't exactly NES Remix. NES Remix is a bunch of different challenges, a bunch of different games that aren't even included in World Championships. You were graded in a 3-star system, and there were stamps! That can't be used anymore because Miiverse is offline. Now, because Nintendo World Championships is essentially supposed to be a successor to NES Remix, or at least it feels like that, yeah, we ain't gonna be seeing this anytime soon on modern consoles. I will say really quick, there is a 3DS version of this game, however, not all games are included in that, so technically portions of this game are still Wii U exclusive. Now, Wii Party U, this game has a lot of neat features with Gamepad, but some of them could be replicated using the Switch. Now, do you think we're going to be seeing a revival of this franchise? Mario Party has taken over completely? No. And then finally, these last few titles that technically haven't been ported because there were sequels for whatever reason or they were just forgotten. Splatoon 1! Now, Splatoon 2 and 3 have succeeded this in many ways, but there are still things missing from the first game, such as, Miiverse support, but that requires Miiverse to come back, and the single-player campaign. Also, not to mention Super Mario Maker. Now, Mario Maker 2 is great and all, but just doesn't feel right making levels in this game on the Switch. It's kind of like what I was saying earlier with Kirby the Rainbow Curse, like they just kind of ported over and found a way to work around making levels in the Switch tab that feel kind of off. Probably because it doesn't come with a dedicated stylus on the Switch, and using a third-party stylus just feels like I'm using my finger. I don't know, Mario Maker honestly felt like it was a Wii U kind of game, and it should have stayed on the Wii U. What's missing from the sequel is that awesome Fly game and those heckin' awesome amiibo costumes. And yeah, there is a 3DS version of Mario Maker, but that's just kind of ass and not HD. No, neither of these games are coming to the Switch. Yoshi's Woolly World. Yes, once again, there is a 3DS version of this game, but come on, can you really consider that freeing this game from the Wii U shackles? Now, if it was like Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, then yeah, it literally is because there's a Switch version. But this game being on 3DS, sure it has exclusive content on there, but it doesn't have HD and the game looks absolutely gorgeous on Wii U. This isn't putting the game to justice. Putting on a 240p system, what were you thinking, Nintendo? Going from HD to N64 quality? But does this mean we're seeing a Switch port? Well, considering Yoshi's Crafted World essentially was meant to be a replacement for Yoshi's Woolly World, yeah, very unlikely we'll be seeing this game come on to Switch anytime soon, but not entirely impossible. For now, anyways. Wii U all the way. Alright, so that's all the games I can think of that come to mind for the Wii U. Honestly, a lot more than I was expected. There certainly will be titles still trapped on the Wii U system for all eternity, but I do feel as though that's not a bad thing since what would even be the point of the system if everything was stripped from it? Really, the memes that talk about what Wii U games do we still have are mainly talking about the good ones people aren't talking to mention, like Mario Party 10 or Paper Mario Color Splash, because people usually say those games suck. Or games people forget about like Wii Party U or Star Fox Zero. I do kind of feel those memes are overblown anyways, because looking at all these games, there's still a sizable chunk of games on the Wii U that aren't on any other system, probably once again won't be on any other system. Now, losing Xenoblade Chronicles X is a big one, but at the same time, losing its online on the Wii U really did suck, so having it ported did do it justice. I mean, that game has a killer soundtrack. I ain't a rap kind of guy, but it makes me want to get into it. With that being said, let me know what sort of first-party exclusive Nintendo games you would like to see off of the Wii U, or tell me some of your favorites. And of course, don't forget to steal yourselves. Bye-bye.